is having a cheat day will actually help you lose weight. And you might be thinking, well, how can a cheat day eating up pizza and ice cream and all my favourite foods help me lose weight? Today we're going to talk about cheat meals versus having a full cheat day, and we're going to talk about some of the benefits of them and whether we should have them or not at all. If you want to learn how to get jacked, how to get shredded and ripped, this YouTube channel will teach you how to do that through the videos I post on Mondays and Thursdays. If you want to subscribe, just click the subscribe button and the little bell next to it. That will tell you every time I upload a YouTube video. Stay to the end of the video because I'm going to share with you a very important bonus tip that allows you to cheat without losing progress, and that's what it's all about, is being able to incorporate a cheat meal without losing any progress. I'm going to teach you how to do that in the bonus tip. Let's get straight into it. I don't want to waste any of our time. So let's talk first about cheat days versus cheat meals and which one might be better. So let's start with a cheat day. A cheat day is basically one day per week where you don't think about nutrition. You basically eat whatever you want. If you've been on a nutrition plan, as I like to call it, or some other people will call it a diet, for the 6 days previous, maybe you take a Sunday and eat whatever you want on that day. There are two benefits that spring to mind to having a cheat day, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the biggest idea in this video in a couple of minutes. So the two ideas that I come up with straight away are, it allows you to be social, it allows you to not be restrictive so that you can go out with friends, family, and you can take that one day per week, whenever that is, to not feel like you can't do things. Because when people go on a diet, they think it's too restrictive and they don't get a chance to be able to do the normal things that they want to do in life. So that's one of the really cool benefits to having a cheat day. The other cool benefit to having a cheat day and to not having to stick to any rules for that day is it makes you feel like you can stick to that nutrition plan. If you, and I know Athlete X does actually disagree with my point on this, and his point is basically, I'm sure most of you know about Jeff, Athlete X, but he actually thinks that you shouldn't have cheat days because that means your nutrition plan, your diet is not sustainable. I disagree with that because your nutrition plan should be sustainable, but sustainable doesn't include eating things like pizza, really high sugar ice cream, high sugar foods. That's not a sustainable nutrition plan. And the point is, if you don't have any day in the week that you can have pizza and you can have all of those bad junk foods, that to me is restrictive. That basically means that if you follow Jeff's advice, which you might want to, then you can't eat that food ever, basically, because you're not going to be able to fit those into your daily nutrition plan every day. So by having that one cheat meal at the end of each week, it makes you feel like you're not totally restricting yourself to the point where you can never have your favourite foods again. The other thing that some people recommend is the cheat meal. So that's just one meal per week that you eat that is a cheat meal. That might be a pizza, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be pizza, I'm just using that as the example. The reason I don't like this is because it doesn't really give you that freedom. It doesn't really, because the rest of the day you still have to stick to that nutrition plan, stick to the calories that you're supposed to eat that day that is in your plan. So you have that one cheat meal, but you're still never truly relaxed because you're constantly then having to think about what you're eating the next day. And the benefit of the cheat day, not the cheat meal, also is the psychological benefit of not having to track things, not having to think about what you're putting in your body. It's just do what you want on that day. So that's why I don't really like the cheat meal, because you're still never really getting a break, which in my opinion just causes, and you see it time and time again, when people don't have cheat meals or their nutrition is too restrictive, what basically happens is they end up binging. It happens every time. Unless you're getting paid millions of pounds per year or millions of dollars to stay in shape and you've got that financial incentive, the average person is just going to binge eat. You're not going to be able to stick to it and have the willpower and discipline to stick to those foods all the time without having that cheat day. So here's the main benefit that I was talking about, and I'm going to share with you what I recommend. I always recommend to have a cheat day. I think everybody should take one day per week, whether it's a day in the week that you're going out with a girlfriend, with your boyfriend, whatever, and you take that one day. Or whether, for me, I like to take it at the end of the week on a Sunday. I'll usually spend time with family on Sundays, and that's my one day that I just eat whatever I want to eat. The incredible benefit to having a cheat day is having a cheat day will actually help you lose weight. And you might be thinking, well, how can a cheat day eating up pizza and ice cream and all my favourite foods help me lose weight? It will help you lose body fat for this reason. When you're in a calorie deficit, when you're eating less calories per day, your body will start to slow your metabolism down. It will start to want you to lose less weight because your body doesn't understand that you're doing it strategically to lose body fat. Your body thinks you're starving. So if you take 1 day per week where you're eating higher calories, that cheat day, that tells the body every week that you're not starving, that you're not dying. It doesn't need to slow the metabolism. You're not in starvation mode. And by doing that every week, just allows you to burn more body fat, because obviously at the end of the week your body might slow the metabolism a bit. You're boosting all those hormones back up, you're boosting the metabolism back up, and then the week after you can carry on losing body fat again. So not only does it have the fat loss benefits there, it also obviously has the psychological benefits of allowing you to actually stick to what you're doing. I remember one of my favourite quotes of all time is one from Bruce Lee, and he said that he doesn't fear the man that practices 1,000 kicks in a day. He fears the man that practices 1 kick a day for 1,000 days, because that is what it's about with life, and especially with what we're talking about, the nutrition, the bodybuilding standpoint. You need to be able to do things every single day and stay consistent with them. If you're restricting yourself every day, you're going to end up coming off that diet. You're going to end up not being able to stick to that diet, which is going to make you feel really bad about yourself. You're not going to want to do it. It's not about eating healthy for 3 days in a row like Bruce Lee. It's not about practicing 1,000 kicks in a day. It's about practicing healthy meals every single day. But then we have the fine line of it's not too healthy, too restrictive, too clean that we can't stick to it. So there's a balance there. A lot of these things are actually mental as well, psychological, and I know we spoke a little bit about that, but what I mean is if you structure a day in your nutrition plan where you eat whatever you want, you eat your favourite foods, you don't feel bad about it because it's part of the plan. You're supposed to do it. When you restrict yourself and you really want to binge eat, and eventually you will definitely binge eat, you will definitely start eating all sorts of cookies and cakes and everything, but when you do that, you then spend the next couple of days feeling absolutely depressed and terrible about yourself because you feel like you're weak, you feel like you've given up. When it's part of the plan, you don't. You feel like you're doing the right thing. Another cool thing about the cheat day is that you will actually look better if you have a cheat day. Because you're eating a calorie surplus, because you're eating more carbohydrates, when you eat in a calorie deficit, you actually deplete the glycogen, the water, your muscles look flat. So when you eat in the calorie surplus, eating the carbohydrates, more of them, at least on that cheat day, you're going to fill back out again, so then it starts to make you look better by having the cheat day. The bonus tip is how it doesn't hinder our progress eating this junk food and whatever food we want to eat on the cheat day. The reason is because it's not a competition. What we don't do, the biggest cheat day mistake that people make is they think it's some kind of competition. They go, right, it's cheat day, I'm having this and this and this and this, and they list all the foods and they eat as much as they can. It's not about that. It's a day where we don't think about nutrition. It's a day where you just eat what you want to eat. Don't just go out and eat everything that you can just because you can do it because it's your cheat day. Because if you do that, yes, you will hinder your progress. So it's not about eating the calorie deficit still. I actually want you to eat in a calorie surplus on your cheat day. But what you should do is be somewhat strategic about it. Instead of just eating the whole day, sugar and chocolate, try to eat real meals with, if you're going to have some chocolate, and I'm sure most of you will on your cheat day, I certainly do. I actually have a few alcoholic drinks as well, but have those things with meals. So, and when I say a meal, it doesn't have to be healthy. It could be McDonald's, it might be pizza, it might be just eat some real food as well. Just don't try to eat everything that you can possibly eat, or you will gain weight.